The topic of managing a CEO transition is really embedded in the whole process of managing CEO succession. As TK mentioned yesterday morning to open up that first keynote, there are two issues that board members consistently identify as among the most challenging, managing risk and managing CEO succession. Since 1945, our firm has been involved in helping boards manage CEO succession processes. In the last decade in particular, we found a market uptick in the requests for assistance in this area, and we started to dig in and really do some research. In 2004, we did a program with Directorship Magazine. We've done things with Corporate Board Member, as well as Chief Executive Magazine, looking at various issues related to CEO succession. In 2009, TK kind of referenced that we've been here the last couple of years. We did a presentation about the critical dimensions and the kind of the output from research in which we interviewed directors who collectively sat on 121 boards, basically asking them their experiences of CEO successions that have gone well and CEO successions that haven't gone so well, and looking at some of the factors that really drive success. Many of you may have seen this morning's Wall Street Journal. Apple fights on without its muse. And as we all know, Apple experienced a significant loss on Wednesday with Steve Jobs passing. And it's interesting, in 2004, when he first went down with his first medical leave, I don't know if you recall, but the stock price of Apple the next day dropped 12.5%. For the marketplace, the analyst community, Steve Jobs was the face of Apple. There was really very little visibility below Steve about what was going on in that company. Well, I don't know if you saw yesterday, after his passing, the Wall Street Journal, in another article, says the day after Steve Jobs' death, Apple's stock price barely budged. It was an outcome nearly a decade in the making. Since at least 2004, Mr. Jobs and Apple's board of directors have been putting into place a plan to maintain the legacy of his management style and his decision-making, according to former Apple employees. Among Mr. Jobs and the board's move, slowing the flow of departing executives to build a bench of talent, installing programs ranging from annual retreats for the company's top 100 managers to an in-house university that codified Mr. Jobs' work over the years into case studies. By the time Mr. Jobs died on Wednesday, much of the infrastructure and institutional knowledge was in place for Apple to continue on, despite fears that a company that depended so acutely on its founder would immediately flail without him. Well, that didn't happen, and kudos to Apple's board, even though they were very, very secretive about the process, and some of the shareholders were not pleased with the way they managed that. Behind the scenes, for the last 7 years, they've been working this issue. So there's some things about the way they managed that transition to Tim Cook that they really got it right. If the stock price had dropped 12.5% yesterday, as it had in 2004, that would have been a $42 billion event, given the current market cap. So this stuff of managing transitions and managing CEO succession has big stakes associated with it, and it goes way beyond just let's pick the right person. There's a whole set of processes over many, many years that effective boards manage.